Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon or good evening, wherever you guys are joining us. Oops. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Yes, perfectly. Hi, everyone. While we'll wait a couple more minutes until everybody joins us, I'd just like to take a moment and introduce myself. My name is Joanna. I work here at Create-A-P. I'm a colleague of Robert. If you guys have already joined us our previous webinars, you know that usually Robert is the host. But today Robert is on a well-deserved vacation, so I'm taking over from him. So before we get everything started, let's see where you guys are joining us from. Write in the chat what you guys are, let's keep the tradition Robert started a while back, and everyone just write in the chat what you guys are drinking. I have my tea. I'm a tea person. I don't drink coffee. Sorry about that. Oh, we have people joining us from Tokyo. Amazing. Let's see. You had the coffee. Great. So it's early morning where I'm from, you guys. It's very early. So I just hope my energy will be encompassing and you guys will enjoy this great webinar with us. Let's see. We have people joining us from Norway, Australia. Oh my God, so far away. Yes, San Francisco, the Netherlands, Jersey Shore. Excellent. And we have New Zealand, we have Romania. Excellent. And if you guys can, maybe write your job or title or what you guys do on a day-to-day basis so we get to know each other better just before, our main inviter is on the stage. Let's see. So we have a senior graphic designer. We have people doing ads. Obviously, that's what we're here for. We have PPC specialists as well. Yes. Ooh, we have a CEO. Welcome. Yes, people in product marketing. Excellent. Ooh, video editors. Great. So we'll be among friends, marketing consultants. Yes, and while we do the introduction, welcome to the stage, Jacob. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well and clear. Thank you so much.
You
Thanks
can
for
hear
having
me.
me. I'm excited to this.
Yes, so I just want to do a quick intro before we dive in. Looking forward to more people joining us. I know it's early or late, depending wherever you are. So our next guest in today's webinar is Jacob Cass. Now, I don't know if you guys know him, but I did a little research and I know that Jacob is an amazing guy. And I was mostly impressed with your webinar on how you designed the logo for the San Francisco Travel Association. That was my favorite thing. Maybe you can share with us a bit more in the Q&A after that. But
Sure thing. I'd love to.
yeah, so today we will discuss with Jacob Cass, but in order to start this conversation properly, I just want to say that at Create-A-P, we believe that creative ads can really help your business grow and make your brand a memorable one. So that's why we're constantly working to develop our platform to create an amazing experience that will help both designers and marketer create high impact advertising. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Jacob Cass. He's a brand designer, a strategist, an educator, a podcaster, a business coach, community builder, and the founder of Just Creative, an award-winning branding and design consultancy that doubles as an industry-leading blog, which I'm a favorite newsletter subscriber to. And today, Jacob is here to tell us how to give the audience ad that will make them recognize and trust your brand. So a clear message and a consistent visual style are key factors for that, but I don't want to spoil everything. I would like to invite Jacob on the stage. And of course, before we get started, I just want to remind you that you can write your question in the chat window. And at the end of the presentation, we'll have a short Q&A with Jacob. don't be shy, send your question, and I'll make sure we'll answer them all. Now, let me invite Jacob on the stage. Jacob, ready to take over?
I am ready. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm excited to be here to teach you about ads and all that goes into them. So if you're a designer, if you're a business owner, you're going to get an insight into what makes a good ad and how you can really take this away and build campaigns of your own that are actually going to convert. And that's what this is all about. So I'll do an intro to what ads are all about, and then I'm going to go behind the scenes and show you what $1 million ad campaign looks like. So very excited stuff. Please, if you have questions, as Joanna said, please use the chat. This can be interactive, right? So even though I don't see you and it's just me here, please use the chat. We can have a dialogue. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into it.
Great.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes, let's see.
Okay. How to create scroll stopper ads? Right, so before we get into it, I want to give you a little understanding of who I am. I won't spend too much time on this, but it gives you context for where we're going with this. So I'm from Sydney, Australia, Australian, if you haven't picked up by the accent, not accident. I'm a brand designer, right? So I'm a designer at heart. I've been recently getting into strategy in the past few years. So I'm a brand strategist. I have a podcast on branding. Brand is my thing, as well as design, marketing, and business smarts. So that's the crux of who I am. More recently, I've been getting into Web3, NFTs, cryptocurrency, and building in that space and the metaverse, which is really, really exciting. I help creatives with building their business. So I'm a coach. And I also run a community for creatives. It's called Exponential Creatives. It's a paid membership community. I'm an educator, have a blog, hugely into affiliate marketing and search engine optimization. So I have a very popular blog, it's nearly at, I think it's 800,000 hits a month. So it's very, very popular. I'm the founder of Just Creative, which is an agency, specializes in brand design and strategy. I'm a father of 2, soon to be 3 in February. I'm a flamingo enthusiast. My brand is all pink, which you may have noticed already. But flamingos are just my thing. They're fun, they're quirky, they're not afraid to stand out. They're pink, obviously, they're bold, and they're quite balanced as well. They can stand on one leg. So I have a flamingo shirt on. In the background, you may see a couple of flamingos. I'm not sure this way. I can't see my video right now. And yeah, me just being a little bit different. So that's who I am. It gives you context of where I've come from. I've worked at agencies, I've worked in-house. I now run my own brand design firm. And yeah, worked with clients like Coke, Coca-Cola, Disney, Nintendo. I've designed the logo for San Francisco, worked for Nike, Red Bull, a bunch of others. I'm not going to get into all of that, but I just want to give you context of where I'm coming from and how this relates to ads, because I've been in the game for a long time, worked at all different areas and industries. So that's the context of this. The last slide here was me getting into the metaverse and my digital avatars and NFTs, and that's a whole other topic. But this is my digital version. The one you're seeing now is the real Jacob. So that's me. I won't spend much more time on it. So this is a question for everyone, right? So I want you guys to use the chat. We can have a dialogue around this. What you think makes a good ad, right? So I'll give you 30 seconds. There's no right or wrong answers. Maybe there's some wrong answers. I won't call them out though, but let's make a good ad. Let's figure out what a good ad is.
Okay, we already have an answer. So yeah. Simplicity, keep it simple, disruptive, catchy, bold, clarity, strong messaging, good copywriting. What do you say, Jacob? Do these answers?
I can just leave it here. You don't need me.
No, that's not true. Scroll stopping, definitely.
Yes. I'm glad someone said scroll stopping. So, there's no shortage of noise and ads and, even just scrolling Instagram, like every 2 to 3 images is an ad. It's crazy, right? So we want people just mindlessly scrolling. We want to create something that stands out, speaks to the user, and, ultimately gets them to read or stop read or click the ad so they can be, go to where you want them to go. So motivating color appeals to color psychology, copy, call to action, imagery. All right, so easy, clear, short, scroll stopping. Yeah, so there's some great things. So let's jump back in. I have to make this full screen again. All right, what makes a good ad? Yes, someone said scroll stopping. Yes, it gets users' attentions. And I did have a bit of fun with these GIFs. It doesn't have to be all professional. We can have a bit of fun here. So yes, it has to be scroll stopping, gets the user attention, hopefully look like this guy. You want to have a clear message. You want it to communicate effectively, right? And a message can be as simple as a couple of words. It could be no words. Everything you put there and don't put there is the message. So when I say message, it's not just the copy, right? It's the everything. If you think about it like a vibe, right? If you walk into like a Louis Vuitton store, for example, the vibe you get is that this is going to be hella expensive, right? It's the vibe. So you want to have a vibe, a message that you have for your ad. You want it to be targeted, like this Coca-Cola bottle. It definitely targeted into her face. We want to target the ad to our intended user. We want to know who we're talking to. That means you're going to talk in different ways to different people, right? So make sure you understand who you're trying to target. It's really, really important here. Having a clear call to action, wink, wink, click here, like Mr. Bean would do. It entices users to click. Not all ads have to have buttons or clear calls to action, but most of them that convert well will have a button. It's just how it works. People intuitively click buttons, and there's stats behind it. I'm not sure if Creatopia has any more insight on that, but I found in my testing that buttons always convert better. Last but not least is it should be on brand, right? You don't want to be looking like this guy, like, what the hell is this ad? It's not really on brand. And, there's so many different fails out there, big and small, that you can use as a case study of like things being off brand. I'm not going to get into that, but you want your ad to be on brand, right? The right colors, the right messaging. And you don't want it to be, in a different voice than what your brand is. Like, for example, if you're a professional news website, you're not going to have a very salesy, bright yellow flashing, salesy kind of ad, right? It's not true to the brand. That's what I mean when I say on brand. It needs to stay in the same voice, have the same message as the brand, so to ensure consistency and cohesiveness with the larger brand. All right. So a better question is, what makes a good ad campaign, right? There's one thing to have an ad, but it doesn't end there, right? An ad is what people see and click on, but a campaign is where you lead them to. So you have to understand what your goals are. So it's better to think about this as a campaign, right? A holistic look at what makes a good ad campaign. All right. So there's 5 things I'm going to outline here. What makes a good ad campaign? You want a clear brief, and it's an outline of the problem and intention of the ad campaign. So I Googled brief GIFs, and this guy came up, as well as a few others, but he just made me smile. So he was perfect for this. Jiggle, jiggle. All right, goals. We want to, this guy is so good. Me reaching my life goals. Anyway, goals. We want to be able to measure success. We want to know what we're creating this ad campaign for. Generally, we have, understanding. We want people to come here. We want to more customers. We want to get a bit more granular than that. We want to make X amount by this time, and we want to be able to measure it. You've heard of SMART goals. It is important to understand those goals. I'm not going to get more into that, but having a clear brief outlines the problem and the intention of the ad campaign, and ways to measure success are keys to a good ad campaign. Strategy, right? If you don't have a clear strategy, you'll end up like this guy just jumping up and down, land on his butt. All right, we want to have a plan to win. What is the strategy? First, we have the outline of the problem and the intention. Often this will come from the client. We want more customers. We want to sell more of this widget, whatever it may be. Goals can be how many clicks on this ad, or how many conversions have we got? Have we converted, our offer, or whatever you're selling? The strategy is the plan to win, right? And I'll get more into that in the case. I have a case study and it goes in a little bit more deeper into what strategy is all about. The last but not least is you want it to achieve the goal that you set, right? You want the ad to convert. So you have a strong ad that it gets your attention, is talking to the right user, it sends the right message, and is on brand. You want it to convert, right? There'll be a landing page perhaps, or at least your secondary page where you want the user to do something. Generally, you want to capture their information, right? Email address, phone number, so you don't ever lose that lead. All right. Now that you know the basic principles of what makes a good ad and a good ad campaign, I'm going to show you a case study of $1 million ad campaign. You know, like this guy, it's so good. I can't do it as well as him, but this is what we're going to get into. So this is a real world case study for a tech news website, which I'll get into. It's when I say it's $1 million, it literally is. You know, that's part of their goal is to earn X $1 million with an ad campaign, and we have rolled out a couple of different ad campaigns. So I'm going to go through the whole steps, all of the steps, I should say, from the brief with the client right through to the strategy and the proposal. I'm sure there's some designers here that are, you know, maybe that run their own freelance businesses or studios. I'll show you behind the scenes a proposal of, you know, like a 5-figure banner ad campaign. Right? You can earn a lot of money from banner ad campaigns if you set them up right. So it does take some, you know, knowledge of, you know, sales skills and problem solving and proposal writing, but I'll give you some insights on that. So this is going to be useful for both designers and entrepreneurs that may be running their ad campaigns, because you'll see how we get a really strong brief and then execute on it and, you know, create results. So let's get into it. The brief. This is the client. So Tech Informed is a tech news website. They're research-led, they're independent, and they deliver news analysis, that was a mouthful, unique insights to empower technology professionals to make more informed decisions. So I helped them with their branding previously, and then we moved into the ad campaign after the fact, right? So we went through a whole strategic process, you know, creating the strategy for the brand, you know, from the ground up, more or less, the strategy for the brand, positioning for the brand's personality, messaging, identity, you know, including the logo, then the fonts, colors, and everything you see here. iResearch is the parent brand. So what you need to know is that Tech Informed is the client. They're a tech news publication that is independent, right? And they have a huge research team. So their point of difference is that they're pretty much on the frontier of tech news, right? There's no shortage of tech news websites out there, but these guys have a team of about I think there's about 400 people that work within iResearch. They have a lot of power when it comes to gathering insights and providing the latest tech news to tech professionals. So they target, the tech news targets enterprise level CEOs, C-suite execs, right? So this is important to know, right? They're not really targeting the everyday consumer. They're targeting tech professionals that are currently working in enterprise level companies, right? So that's the background knowledge that you need to understand this banner ad campaign. Tech news website. And what this banner ad campaign is all about is selling advertising on their site. And the advertising packages, they're called sponsorship packages. Basically, they're selling web banners, reports, newsletters, social media, ad banners on their own website. Right? So this is kind of getting a little meta, but what we're selling with our banner ads is sponsorship packages, right? That's what you need to know. So newsletters, display ads, special reports, they have a partner page. So this is all the options that someone on the receiving end has. They enterprise generally 30% enterprise, 35% large companies, generally 35% directors and managers, and also 30%. So the reason I'm showing you this is because you need to know your customer. You need to know who you're targeting, because the language and the message that you send is going to be different, right? You want to speak to the right person. Really, really important. Okay, so this is what they're selling, right? Packages. Diamond packages from 15K, platinum from 25K, 10K. All right, so this is what we're selling, sponsorship packages. This is their goals, right? So they came to me saying, we need to make this amount, we need to sell this many packages that are gold, this many diamond, this many platinum. So this is all like real brief stuff. This is what you get from the client. It's not always pretty. It's not always pretty, but marketing managers, they often have goals, right? They have to make X amount by Q3, Q4, and you have to work backwards, right? So how do you actually achieve that? Well, you need to make this many sales. So they have to put a plan into place. So they want to make this much net new revenue, right? How many millions do they need for, by the end of the year? That's the brief. So I don't want to get too much into this, but what we're seeing here is the sales funnel for these packages. We're just going to get into the banner ad section and the attention. So you can see up the top where it says attention, that's the top of the funnel. And then the second layer down is the interest, where they respond to an ad, they enter their data. The third layer down is the desire, where they download a media pack, which is basically a brochure that describes these packages in more detail. And then the action is when they fill in a form or schedule a call on the calendar. So if you think about your ads, you need to think about this model. It's called ADA. Some people may be familiar with it. Attention, interest, desire, and action. How do you get their attention? How do you get their interest? How do you get them their desire? And how do you get them to take action? Number one, you need a scroll stopping ad. So that's why we're here. How do you create a scroll stopping ad? And then next, how do you get them to respond to an ad, right? Click it and then enter their information, right? That's what we want them to do with an ad. And then what comes after that, right? Do they download a media pack? Do they enter their information? Or, you have to understand what your purpose is behind your campaign. This was the data that we got from them in terms of who they're targeting, right? Even though they're enterprise level companies, like billion-dollar companies, the people that you're trying to target aren't actually the CEOs, right? Then there's always a person behind a team, right? They're generally middle managers or C-level execs, right? So we have to understand we're talking to these people. They're regular humans, right? You have to know that these are humans that are trying to stay up on top of their job, right? They're visiting a news website like Tech News that's on the frontier of tech news, so they can stay informed, right? So these are people that, they're pretty smart. They're marketing specialists, and they're not going to be tricked into, flashing web banners. They want their problem solved, right? Generally, they have goals of how much they need to sell, or they have to spend. Sometimes they have to spend X amount. So knowing their titles, their challenges, and what they want is really, really important, because that's going to lead up to a better ad campaign. So I'm not going to go through all of those, the words here, but you can understand that this is the ideal customer profile and persona that we're targeting. So what I want you to take away from this is you need to know your customer. All right, this is what their next steps were. We had a call. The next steps were we need to build a sponsor, ad messaging, and creative for 4 different campaigns. Right, that's what we ended up on, and I'll go into a little bit more detail soon. So we had to create a sponsor ad. It's probably better to show this later, actually. All right, so the proposal. This is after I've had a call with the client. That's their brief, right? But as designers, we need to kind of structure the brief in a way to diagnose their problem and give them a solution, right? If you think about doctors, right? You go into the doctor, you tell them, I have this problem, but the doctor's not going to be like, okay, let's give you this, right? They have to diagnose it. Right? They have to do all their checks, and then they have to come up with their solution, right? Their prescription. That's what the proposal's for, right? So this is a summary of what that conversation was about and their initial brief. All right, so this is the project overview. Tech Informed is looking to achieve X million dollars net new revenue by selling their packages to sponsors. Right, that's the challenge. So how are we going to do that? That's the plan or the strategy. So first we need to do an audit of their website and other marketing materials and their sales funnels. They already had some in place. Some were working okay, some were not working. Then we had to come up with improvements, advisory for improvements on how to do this. We had to explore new opportunities, optimize funnels that get leads through marketing and sales funnels, build out the creative and messaging. So there's 4 campaigns that we had to work on. Suggest and discuss new improvements beyond the campaigns. For example, email campaigns, new landing pages, and so forth. So often it's not just a banner ad campaign. And obviously this is for a larger client, but it goes beyond that, right? There's a goal behind marketing, right? You want to earn X amount or get so many leads or whatever else it may be. So that's the challenge. That's the plan. Then we have some goals. We want to create on-brand scroll-stopping ads with compelling messaging. We want to connect with the key personnel, who we identified earlier. We want to increase their click-throughs and conversions, from their old ads. We want to increase the traffic to their advertised page and or landing page. So they actually have a website, a page on their website that is targeted towards selling advertising packages. They want to increase their media pack download. So basically that's the brochure for selling their sponsorship packages. And they want to increase conversions, optimize their marketing and sales funnels, and explore new opportunities. So the key focuses, these are some of the areas that they wanted to focus on. These are the benefits that the end user gets from their sponsorship by buying the sponsorship package, right? So let's simplify that. So let's say Mary's bought a sponsorship package from Tech Informed. The benefit they're going to get is more leads, right? They're going to get better brand awareness. They're going to have more connection. They're going to have more distribution. They're going to have more growth. They're going to have guaranteed results, right? That's something they offer. They get packages. They have a breadth of offerings. They have something to fit any budget. Thought leadership, expansion, and benefits, right? So these are some of the focuses that we want to talk about in the ads, right? So we're actually creating a really strong proposal here that talks about the goals and the areas you want to focus on in the ads, right? So whatever you're selling has a benefit. You're not selling the drill, you're selling the hole, right? So you want to sell the benefits, and you can, that's a whole other thing, but you want to think about the benefits because that's how you're going to create messaging, copy around your ad. So this is the deliverables, right, that they'll get. They get the advisory, consultation, strategy, and then 4 campaigns and the landing page template, right? So why those 4 campaigns was because they have different areas of the funnel, right? Different levels of the funnel. So they want to have ads for the awareness phase. They want to have ads for the interest phase. For example, they've already been to Tech Informed or they've visited the advertised page, or they are going to retarget them, right? The 3rd campaign were always on ads, right? A little bit more, ads that could be rotated through Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and that always worked. And campaign 4 was a time-bound ad campaign. Basically, often around this time of year, the leads kind of drop off around July, not this time of year. So around July, people are away on summer, July, August, and people's leads kind of dry up. So they wanted to kind of tap into that pain for that ad campaign. So some of the messaging was around, your leads are falling down, come buy our stuff, more or less. So that's the proposal. Outline the costs, ongoing advisory, campaign 1 and 2, campaign 3 and 4, cost this much, the landing page costs this much, and then the final quote. The goal, just to remind them, if you're giving them a 5-figure quote, that you want to remind them that they're going to earn X million dollars in revenue from your services. So relatively speaking, it is a good deal. That's what you want to convey. All right, let's get into the creative stuff. Are there any questions? I kind of just went on a roll there. I'll just minimize for a second. Cool. Big fan of the GIFs. Awesome. Cool, cool. All right, well, I'll just get into it. I can't know more. All right. All right, the ads, round one. So this is kind of my artboard, and I'll go through all of these. This is just how I'm come up with ideas behind. I want to show you behind the scenes. This is Adobe Illustrator, and how some of the ads came to fruition. You actually may see a few ads here from Creatopia. I don't know why I can't say that word so easily yet, Creatopia. But yeah, some of these ads inspired some of these campaigns. You have some really nicely designed ads on there. So I'll show you how they all worked and mapped out to that campaign based on the brief and the personas. So the sponsorship ad, this is basically the awareness phase, right? So this is when they may not necessarily be aware of Tech Informed and they're just learning about Tech Informed, right? Okay, so tap into. So this is the lead campaign. So you'll notice that there's 3 different sizes. They're the 3 sizes that we just determined. Sorry, the text is a little bit fuzzy. It's a PNG saved out that way. So this is the first round that we sent them, and the images haven't been bought yet. That's why there's watermarks on them. But I want to show you, a real world case study of how this played out. Right. So their brand, if you couldn't have told from the previous slides, were orange, black, white, and there's a little bit of blue here and there. So it's fairly corporate, it's techie, and you'll notice the personas here map out to the personas that we defined earlier. So we kind of want to map who we're targeting within the ads, right? So all these people are wearing glasses, right? They're techie. It's cliche, but it conveys that tech vibe. They're all using devices, right? They're using a laptop or a tablet. It shows that they're tapping into. All right, they're using the device. So tap into is the campaign title. So where it says number 1, tap into, that's the title, that's the big idea. And it's very flexible, right? We can tap into growth, tap into leads, tap into techies, tap into MQLs. I'll get into MQLs in a second. So it's a very flexible campaign. And it even has the same initials as Tech Informed. So tap into, TI, and even the logo is TI. So tap into is a very strong idea, and it has a lot of legs, which means we can swap out some of those words, growth, leads, techies. So tap into growth, right? Reach IT professionals with our leading sponsorship packages. So a very big, bold headline, clear messaging. It has a sub descriptor, extra information before they tap into, click the button. So they tap into again. Before they click the button. And the call to action is very clear. It says what they're going to get, right? It doesn't say learn more. It says view packages. That will yield better results. So I want to go over this again. Clear headline, descriptive copy to help with, what they're going to be clicking into. This is kind of a challenging one because they're selling sponsorship packages and you needed a little bit more information to describe what they'll get in. On brand, right? The colors, the personas, and very visually striking, right? Scroll stopping. And the reason why there are different colors here, right? You'll notice one is orange, one is black, one is white. It's because the context of where you display your ad is very important. If you had a black website with a black background, what ad do you think you would choose to put on the black website? Right? The orange or the white? You would have more contrast, right? So you have to understand where your ad is going to be displayed. You don't always have that information, but you can get selective of where your ads appear. So if you want to stand out, perhaps like a very orange ad would stand out on a very white page. So it's just one clever way to, make your advertising dollars go further, is knowing the context. All right. Okay. The second ad campaign. So the thing about ad campaigns is you never know what's going to work. You need to get creative and you need to try new things. So this is a clever kind of play on looking for IT professionals to advertise to, partner with tech informed. So the copy here is, it's dummy copy. And, if you saw this on a news website, there's always tons of, text on the page. And if you see, a couple of words bolded, it gets your eye, right? You stop scrolling. That's how you create a scroll stopping ad. You need to make them, you need to get their attention, and you need creative ways to do that. Bright colors, a lot of text, right? With some bolded words. People want to see what the message is, right? This is our brains, this is how they're wired. They want to figure out the problem. So this is a clever way to get them to stop scrolling and deliver the right message, right? So looking for MQLs, right? This is language that marketing managers would understand. It's marketing qualified lead. That's what it stands for. So they often have quotas where they have to get X MQLs, a quarter. So you're talking to this user in a way that they understand. It gets their attention with 3 words, right? 3 words. Looking for MQLs, partner with us. It's clear as day with the call to action, view packages, right? It's very clear. It stands out. And obviously you can change the background color to black or white or black or orange if it was going to appear on a different page. So that was the second idea. So the first one was tap into. The second idea was looking. The third idea was persona driven. Our brains love faces, right? That's how we interact. It's how we connect with others. So having an ad that has a very strong face on it is going to stand out. You're going to get that scroll stopping action, right? Especially on a website. Having a large face when everything else is text or some other imagery that may not actually be a large face looking at you. That's how you create a scroll stopping ad. You have to think about the context. The background colors, they change. All on brand, grays, reds, oranges, and blue also has a techie vibe. So we introduce another color here. The copy, right? So the copy is secondary here. The primary motive for getting them to stop scrolling is the face in this particular ad, is persona driven. So these are all personas that we've defined in the brief. So that's why I spent time on the brief, because we want to know who we're targeting. So, and where these ads appear, they're going to appear in different, locations, right? So for example, the Asian lady here was used for the ad in Singapore, right? And the black fella was used in the UK. So, and the other 2 were in America. It's not rocket science, but it's knowing who your audience is so you can target them in a way that connects with them. Right? So you have to target the right person and talk to them in a way that gets their attention. All right, so the copy. The copy here for all your lead gen needs. You don't have much space in these ads to convey the message. So you want to have a very short and sharp headline that talks to your benefits, right? Get 300 tech MQLs, talks to the user, inform the informed. So their big point of difference is that they're targeting people that are informed and smart, right? These are enterprise level marketing managers. Also, the call to action on some of these, say schedule a call. And you'll see later on in this presentation that these buttons actually translate to different landing pages. So on the schedule call button, the landing page actually has a schedule calendar kind of form, right? And the packages has packages. So it's important to know that once they click on your ad, that the style, the messaging actually matches up to your ad. It will mean a better conversion. Okay. The fourth option is very direct, the frontier of growth, the frontier of lead generation, leads. Right? So where it is tech informed is the frontier of tech news. So where we've just used that tagline and built it out further, the frontier of growth, frontier of lead gen. So it's a a campaign that plays off their tagline of being the frontier. So it's very much tied to their brand. It's very on brand, all their colors, clear calls to action. Even this triangle element is the triangle element from their logo. So simple ad, big blocks of color, scroll stop in, on brand, clear message. Right? So they're all the things that make a good ad. I'll show you what makes a good ad campaign soon on the landing page. Sometimes you don't have to create ads that are like mind-blowingly like creative. Some ads that are so simple convert the best. That's why you need to try different things when it comes to your ads. This is a very simple ad. Logo, text about the benefit, and a clear call to action. Basic. CreateAP has a bunch of different ads like this. Clear, you just put your logo in, put the text in, and a call to action. They work well. So don't overthink it. Just have a very clear message that speaks to the benefits for the user. Get 300 plus tech MQLs. Like any advertising manager that's reading that is a message they want to click. Right? So you have to understand what the benefit is that you're solving, the problem you're solving, the benefit that you're offering, because that's going to help with your copy. All right, so that was the first campaign. 5 different ideas. This is the second campaign. This is basically the second layer down in the funnel when they're interested in tech informed. So because they're already interested, what you want to do is give them some social proof and some social proof and some extra oomph to why they should partner with you or work with you, whatever, or buy your product, whatever it is that you're selling. So we're using testimonials here. Qualified leads without the headache. Guaranteed lead gen that simply works. Qualified leads and distribution too. Right. So where the 5 stars gives a little graphic element. This is a premium product. Very a lot of white space, clear copy, very modern, and the glasses. It speaks to the techie. Right. It conveys that tech element without showing cliche stock photography. Even the reflection in the glasses is the little arrow from their logo, right? So it's just add in branded elements like that. Little touches can elevate the ad to another level. So this is social proof. This one is a combination of using a person's face and emotion, right? So the emotion here is surprise. So leads that actually convert, wow. Qualified leads and distribution too, wow. So we actually didn't end up using this one just yet, but if we did, we'd find more stock photography of different personas with perhaps glasses and a like a surprised emotion, right? So that's the idea behind it. This third option for the interest level of the campaign is a discount. Right? How do you get people through the door? Free or discounts. That's it's a big lucrative offer, right? So we also don't like the brand isn't very salesy, so it's not going to be like a big black and yellow kind of buy huge sale kind of thing. It's more of a subtle kind of up to 30% off. It's a clear headline for your lead gen needs. Partner with us. What I want to share on this slide was that you can update the typography based on where the ad is going to appear. So on the right-hand side, you'll notice the typography is a little bit more classic. And this typeface is actually used as part of their brand. So it's not off-brand. We're just swapping it out. And it becomes a little bit more refined, a little bit more classic, and it may appeal to a reader that's on a certain website. For example, if they're on New York Times, they may be more, it may be more, what's the right word, refined. The reader may be more refined and they're used to reading that kind of classic serif type versus TechCrunch, where it's a little bit more modern and you want to be more simplified. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that you can change the type depending on where that is appearing. All right, so the retargeting. This is, so copy here is interesting. So in Google and other creative, well, let's just use Google to simplify it. So in Google, you can, they have dynamic ads. So all you can type in some copy, you can choose a photo, and it will change the layout of the ad, and it will make it responsive based on their magic that Google does. So the purpose of this slide here is that we can come up with a bunch of different copy and plug it into Google and see what converts best, right? And just see through data what headline actually works better, right? So upgrade your lead gen, tap into the frontier of lead gen, make your lead gen easy. So easy is a big benefit. The latest lead gen, someone may be curious about the latest being on the frontier. Next gen lead gen, right? So there's a lot of creative ways to sell and get people to tap into an ad. So this is more of a type-based direction that would be fueled by Google Ads on the back end. So this wouldn't necessarily appear like this. All right, so remember that this is a retargeting ad. So they've been to Tech Informed. They may have seen the advertised page. They may have even clicked an ad before, right? So this ad is it's more informational, right? You want to remind people about the benefits of partnering with Tech Informed. So white background, black background, blue background, depending on where it is appearing. But some of the benefits of buying or partnering with Tech Informed is that you get qualified leads, brand awareness, you can build your thought leadership, and you can distribute quality content. They have a distribution system. So it's as simple as sharing the benefits of what you're selling. This is a retargeting ad, very text-driven. Okay, the last campaign is always on ads. So this is ads that kind of have a key idea. See what I did there? So the key idea here is unlocking growth, unlocking leads, unlocking lead gen. So you'll start to see this kind of system that you can use. If you have a clear idea, right, you can swap in different words based on the benefits that you're selling. Unlock growth, unlock leads, unlock lead gen, turnkey advertising for tech brands. Turnkey is about simplicity. That's one of their benefits. And it ties in with a graphic as well. Clear call to action about scheduling a call as well. So this is a play on the words, unlocking growth. And this one is to the point, right? So this is kind of based on the Google system where you can input text and add photography in their system. So you can easily swap in photos on the back end of Google, and all you have to do is plug in the different copy. So the copy here is very to the point. It's simple. Don't underestimate simple. Connect with IT professionals, reach IT professionals, reach tech professionals. So you're talking to the benefit of what these marketing managers want, right? So, and you can talk about, yes, it's easy, advertise on our platform. Yes, it's easy. Get your message in front of tech leaders and decision makers. You're literally talking about the benefits. It's a simple technique you can use to create a scroll stopping ad, and that's what this is all about. All right, the last one here is about fingertips, right? We're using another visual graphic that plays in with the language, right? IT professionals at your fingertips. It plays on tech, tapping into tech on your laptop or your tablet. Leads at your fingertips, advertise with us. So clear visual graphic that gets someone's attention. One big bold word, right? It's very scroll stopping. Okay, the last campaign, I think this is campaign 4, which is time bound. So I mentioned this earlier. And the time bound was based on around July, August, when people go over holidays, their leads go down. So the copy here was based around the offer, right? Get your leads up again. Need leads, look no further. Leads drain up this season, right? So you're playing into a very time-bound campaign here. And because leads are down, people may be less inclined to spend money, right? So you want to have some offer that can lure them in, right? Free consult or up to 30% off, free consult, right? So that magical word free, it converts well, all right? Okay, fall in short. This is another take on a very clear message, right? Leads falling short. Get more leads this season. Need more leads. No leads, try us. Down on NQLs. So we're starting to use some of the techniques from the other campaigns and just bring them into a new campaign that's more time bound, right? So that's the technique on this approach. And you can reuse some of these, some of the ads, right? Just update the copy. So don't be afraid to do that. All right, so if we're going to be targeting, so some of these were, so the ads I was showing you before there, sorry, let's back up. The ads I was showing you before were for the selling the sponsorship packages. What I'm showing you here now is just targeting a regular customer, right? Someone that may not know about tech news. So for example, if they're on New York Times and they're on the tech news, the technology section on New York Times, Tech Informed may advertise there saying, are you looking for tech news without the noise? Tap into Tech Informed. So again, a clever message. There's a lot of noise on that ad. Looking for tech news without the noise, tap into Tech Informed, and then a clear call to action that says be informed, which is their key benefit is that they're informed. That's the whole strategy behind Tech Informed. They're at the frontier of tech news. Again, so if someone's never heard of Tech Informed, well, this is a great chance to show the breadth of the offering that Tech Informed has. Right? So one of the focus areas in the brief to focus on was the breadth. So on this particular ad, it shows the breadth of what Tech Informed offers. Tech news, I won't read all of them, but you can see, it talks to the user in a way that gets their attention and will click through. Right? Very strong ads. All right, and these ideas can be adapted to different sizes. Right, so what we're seeing here is the ad on Bloomberg. Right, so this is a horizontal version of the ads before. And the blue version, it gets your attention. It stands out on the white page. It shows the breadth of the offering, and the logo as well for brand awareness. So on the one on the right, I'm not sure, I'll just start again, but the one on the right is kind of invisible on the page. It's, blends into a white background. However, the bolded words get people's attention, right? They want to figure out that problem. Looking for tech news without the noise, tap into Tech Informed. And there's an underline with orange. That's where people click. There's no logo on this one. It's just a creative way that may get people's attention, right? So you have to try different things. All right, so I've shown you all the ad campaigns, but their ads, right? For an ad campaign to work, you first need to get their attention. They need to read your message and understand the benefit. Then they need to click the ad. Then they're going to land on a landing page or get a pop-up or something else that happens when they click on the button. Generally, it goes to a landing page. So what you want it to do is have a landing page that matches up with the ad. So as a reminder, this was our very first campaign. So we've bought the images on this one minus the black fella over there. We have that one. So they're all bought now. This is generally like the final image. I've got the people cut out professionally, use a third-party service to make them perfect. Some nice little shadows to give it depth. And the color behind each person gets the attention, right? It just gives that layering effect. It gives more depth. So very clear, bold logo, on brand, clear headline, sub-description talks about what they're going to get into, a clear call to action that says view packages or schedule call depending on the ad, and different color backgrounds to stand out in different places. That's a scroll stopping ad. On the next page, this is the landing page that people get to, right? There's actually more underneath, which I'll show you in a second. So the background is the same color. We're using the same image. We're using the same depth of field. You know, the white behind his head is on brand with the logo. So people click on it and there's no like, where am I? They recognize it, right? The headline is the same. You know, you can't update that, but there's actually a little bit more supporting copy, right? Get first access, right? So you want to convey exclusivity here. So first access to our exclusive network. So exclusive is a keyword that you can use in ads of thousands, exclusive network of thousands of IT professionals. Numbers work really well in ads as well. Advertise on Tech Informed, right? That's what, that's what this is all about. All right, so clear headline, tap into techies, get access to techies. You know, it's a little bit casual, that's their voice, but it's also very on brand and speaks to the user. Right? These are people, although they're enterprise companies, these are people, right? They're kind of techie themselves. So you have to speak their language, very important. Get first access to our exclusive network of thousands of IT professionals. You know, that's an offer they can't refuse. That's what they want. Advertise on Tech Informed. All you have to do is give me your soul. Tap in, write your email here, download the media pack. So if you come back to the goals that we put in that proposal, the goals are about getting creating the ad, of course, but getting them to a landing page and getting them to download a media pack, because the funnel of how they sell these advertising packages, right? These are 10 to 25K packages, right? They're not chump change. So they have to understand what they sell, where they sell it, how it works, and what each package does, and how it's going to benefit them. So that's what the media pack is for. So you want to get them to the landing page, enter their email address, and then send them the media pack. So let's take a closer look. I kind of just went through this, but yes, it's scroll stopping. Right? It's orange, stands out, clear. It's got a clear message. Tap into techies, speaks their language, targeted. The person is, the persona that we're going after. They are techie, they have glasses on. There's a clear call to action. There's a contrast on the button, right? It's black on orange. And on the other pages, right, the color changed. When it was orange, it was, so when it was on different colors, it was like an orange button. So you want to have contrast. You have to update the colors. And it's on brand, right? Orange, black, white, blue. Even the color of his shirt is on brand. And you'll notice the clothing of all these people, right? Maybe 3 years ago, the clothing would be a little bit different, right? You'd use suits, a little bit more corporate. You know, people were in the offices more. These days, people are working from home, and they're a little bit more. They're professional, but not buttoned up. Right? So you'll notice the clothing here is smart casual. It's sophisticated without being too corporate. Right? So those details are very, very important. So scroll stopping, clear message, targeted, clear call to action, on brand. Right? Good ad. Solid brief. You know, this is an ad campaign. If you don't have a solid brief with clear goals and a strong strategy, you're not going to convert very well. Right? So that's what I showed you at the start, you know, how to create a brief, how to have clear goals, and how to create the right strategy. All right, so these are the landing pages extended. All right, so you'll notice again, you know, it's not crazy stuff here. It's just, you know, the ads match up, the colors, the backgrounds, the imagery, it all matches. Right, so you don't want to confuse the user. You want it to be a streamlined process with a clear call to action. You want to capture their email or data, whatever it may be, and, you know, get them down that funnel. For them, the funnel is the media pack. So this is the extended landing page. On the right-hand side, you can actually see the full landing page. It's a really long page that talks about all the benefits and, you know, how do I say it? It talks about what Tech News is, the clients they work with, the who they work with, you know, some data, the opportunities that they can have by working with them, where they can display the ads, the packages, the team members, as well as an inquiry form and a scheduling form. So underneath this first section, coming back to this black background, the first call to action here is enter your email address. But if they scroll down, there's also an option to send an inquiry, so a form like an email. You type in your name and then you can send a message. I've actually recommended them to change that module because that's what were using. So this is an old screenshot, and this kind of get into UI now or UX. But the form here, it gives it. They're currently using. Sorry, I'm going to back up. So where it says send an inquiry, they're using a tech. What's it called? Typeform embed. And how it works is you type your name, then you click next. You type your email and you click next. And then you type your comment, you click next. It's too many steps. So, part of my job as, giving them advisory was to say, get rid of this embed form. Instead, just put 3 fields, your name, email, and a comment form. That will yield better results because there's less friction, right? So this page here was old. So I want to stress that you want to make it as easy as possible to capture data, right? Their email address, or send in a message, or schedule in a call. So on this page, you'll also see schedule a call. To me, this is their old form. To me, this is a very poor user experience. There's no button. I don't know where to click. You actually have to click that thing that says 30-minute discovery call. So when I was doing an audit, my recommendation here was for them to update that module and put just the calendar on that page, right? You can choose a date straight away without that text there. So it's all those sorts of things that are really going to affect your conversion. So it's not just the ad, it's the campaign, it's the landing page, capturing their data, making sure it's intuitive, making sure there's no friction, making sure that there's a clear pathway, right? So you're giving them 3 options here. You're getting their email address, you're giving them an option to send an email or schedule a call, right? Or even subscribe to their newsletter. There's a lot of ways to capture their data. And if they're not convinced, right, to sell you their soul just yet, they can scroll further down the page. And that's why we have a long extended landing page. And it's all about A/B testing, right? We could have just a very short page as you see on the left, or you could have an extended page on the right. Some will yield better results, and you only can find out by testing, right? So some best practices say, keep it simple, do just something like this on the left. Others say, go for a long form, right? Give them everything. Make an offer that they can't refuse, right? Okay, so this is this campaign, looking for IT professionals to advertise to, partner with Tech Informed. Yeah, and then the copy, it speaks to the ad, right? Looking for IT professionals to advertise to, same copy. Tap into our network of thousands of IT professionals. So you can start to see here, I'm combining like 4 different campaigns into the sub copy. Coffee? Yeah, maybe I do need a coffee. The sub copy. Tap into our network of thousands of IT professionals. So tap into the network shows that it's a large, they have a large distribution system. Thousands is that they have access to a lot of people. Numbers are important, just to stress that again. And then access, right? You want to make it a little bit exclusive, right? Our exclusive advertising packages, right? So you're kind of making an offer that is very lucrative. Exclusivity, numbers, network, all the good stuff. And again, if the ad changed or was looking for MQLs, you want to just update the headline to make sure it fits. All right, so the sponsorship ad interest, this is the landing pages for them. So this is another, the one on the top where it says schedule call. If the button said schedule call and not view packages, then you'll want to have a form there that actually says, matches what the call to action was. So we have a module there in embed with Calendly, I think they use, on the page, straight at the top, right? We're not actually capturing their email address just yet. First, they book a call. This is actually an old graphic, but generally when they get to the page, they can see the dates, the full calendar, 30 days. They can choose a date that suits them. They click the date, and then they enter the data on the next page. So it's just a little flip where they choose a date, enter the data, and it matches the call to action. So you'll notice, you can't see my cursor, but the button says schedule a call instead of view packages. That's the one thing I wanted to mention on this page. All right, yeah, this shows how the quote can be built out into different sizes. Nothing new here, but you'll notice that on the landing pages here, that the copy, the style has been changed, right? So the ad before was centered, the text was centered in the page. We have the graphics from the ad included on the page. But because it was a very large website, I've actually introduced the personas here on this landing page. So it's not just a copy, we're actually adding some human elements to the page to show the person behind the quote, if you will. So you can see that Steve's there, Lee's there from Singapore, Terry's there from New York. And again, these ads were targeted to these particular areas, right? So Lee was shown in Singapore, Steve was shown in the UK, and Terry was shown in the US. And the copy matches the ad. So yeah, this is what makes a strong ad campaign. So all the ads, you can see on the landing pages and the variations. Again, you can see the persona, the backgrounds change, they match ads. So I think you get it by now. So we get into the end of it. This is a checklist. Again, scroll stop in, gets your attention, clear message, couple of words, targeted, you know who you're talking to, a clear call to action, a button that tells them what they're going to get, not just learn more. Is it view packages? Is it schedule call? Is it buy now? And importantly, is it on brand? Right? Does it talk about the benefits? Does it talk about, does it have the same elements? Is it consistent, cohesive with the brand? And the ad campaign, you need a solid brief, you need clear goals, you need a strong strategy, and you need it to convert. Right? That's what the ad campaign is all about. And the results, like this guy. That's exactly the results. So that is what you're looking for. Happy man. All right, let's recap. Again, gets user attention, communicates effectively, targeted, entices them to click, stays true to the brand, is funny, has GIFs, perhaps. Maybe that I should have had a few ads with them, GIFs in them. And clear outline of what the problem and intention is, the ways to measure success, a plan on how to win, and how you can actually achieve that goal. Cool. So that's me. Just Creative is my website. I have a bunch of, like hundreds of freebies that you can download. Branding, design, logos, strategy, it's all in the branding briefcase. It is free, it's always expanding, and you have to sell me your soul to get it, right? So that's my little plug, but there's tons and tons of value in there. There's a free email campaign and ebooks and PDFs, like you'll have a field day there. So that's it from me. You can connect with me at justcreative.com or pretty much any profile, Twitter, all the socials at justcreative. You can find me there. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed how to create scroll stopping ads. It was a lot of fun. And thank you.
It was super exciting. Like if we would have a chance to, clap everyone, I think everyone would clap for you because you did an amazing job. It was super, super interesting. Like everybody says so in the chat. Yeah, lots of, full of lots of insight, a full example. Thank you so much, Jacob. Clap. Everybody's clapping.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
It was amazing. Yay! I'm clapping for you guys. So before we see some of the questions people are started asking in the chat, first off, can we get the presentation? So everybody's wondering, do you think you can share the slides with us?
Yeah, I'll share them with you. No worries.
Oh, great. So you guys were getting the slides. It was incredible. Like a lot of cool stuff you mentioned there. And let's see, we do have another question. So Harry asks us, how effective are video ads and which type of video ads are used most by businesses? I know we
It's a
covered
great
banner
question.
ads, but yeah.
I got a little bit of echo, but yeah, this presentation didn't really cover video ads. However, some of those were dynamic ads, right? So they can update on, and Google has some magic on their end that helps with that sort of interactivity, right? So you can animate text, you can make it responsive, and you can even add videos on that back end. This particular campaign, we didn't use video, so yeah.
Okay, so until we see some other questions in the chat, I kindly invite you to ask Jacob. Oh, okay. We have a question. I was going to ask you something, but we have a question in the chat. How do you measure the success of a campaign in the post-cookie world, especially if you run more campaigns at the same time? Well,
yeah. So there are methods that these companies use, right? You log into Google, LinkedIn, on Twitter, and they have dashboards where you can see the results more or less, how many people have clicked on it, and so forth. So I wouldn't measure it just based on clicks, though. It's actually the goals that you set up in their proposal. It's like, well, what are you trying to actually do here? You want to get them. You want to get their attention. You want to get their email. You want to get them to download a brochure, and then you want them, schedule a call, and you want the sales team to talk to them, understand their problems, and then sell a package that's between 10 and 25K. So that particular project, that's what it was about. So understanding that process and how you're getting that flow to the end goal, which is selling the package in that particular instance. That's really, really important. So that's how you would measure success, is how many packages did you sell from that campaign?
How many packages did you sell?
That's all up to that's all on them.
Right?
So, yeah,
yeah,
they're throwing a lot of money at it.
So my first question to you is, when was the last time? Do you remember when was the last time you stopped scrolling and you clicked on an ad?
Yes, I always, you may have seen these, but there's like a baseball bat, and someone hits a baseball bat, and the ball comes and hits you like in the face. Like I always get done with those. I'm like, damn it, you got me again, and I know it's coming, but I always get tricked by them. It's just that like coming in your face kind of ball. There's too many words there that were a little inappropriate, but it was just the guy hitting the ball into your face, and it's some of the ads, they like break the glass and
I've seen those.
That's the one that
they really are scroll stopping ads, right?
Yeah, but that's why it's important to mention that is it on brand, right?
Yeah,
that's not going to be on brand for a lot of brands, especially enterprise, right? So those enterprise ads that were shown, it was very on brand. It was like very simple text, and it showed the person, and it spoke to the end user and about the benefits. So really important to keep it on brand. Otherwise, you can actually damage your brand, and you may not know it, but you are. So yeah.
We have another question in the chat. So are certain sizes that you avoid in a custom size campaign, for example, small ones with little text?
I wouldn't say avoid. It's just understanding like the return on that ad, right? Is it going to actually get a click, and are you paying for it? How is it sending the right message? So that's why those three sizes that were shown are generally like the most popular sizes. However, if you get really creative with where you're showing your ad, and you understand where it's going to appear, like a little ad could be standing out quite well on a website, for example. If it's at the top of a page in like a dashboard where someone's looking like every day, like that's a really strong small ad to have. So it's all about the context and the message you're sending in that ad.
Yes, I totally agree. we have some more questions. Have you worked with more organic looking ads, especially on social media, instead of scroll stopping ads?
So organic, that's a great point on Antonio. So it's organic, just for, to talk about that a little bit more, it's where it kind of blends in a little bit. It appears like it's part of the page, and websites are pretty notorious for this. You'll see like a little like sponsored ad like in the corner, and it actually looks like an article. It blends in with the page, and that's the same thing on social. It kind of just appears like it's as part of that brand or that platform or app or whatever it may be. So that's what organic means. This particular campaign did not have an organic side to it. It was to get attention, right? So I haven't had experience doing that recently, to create it organic. So yeah, that's all I could say on that one.
Mm-hmm. We have another question. How do you have time to do all this type of different ads and landing pages? And which program do you use for making landing pages?
The time? Well, you have to, charge accordingly, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So you want to charge accordingly, and that's why you spend a lot of time on the brief. And because it's a large company that's chucking a lot of money at this, and the goal is to make millions in net revenue, right? It's the money and the time invested into building the campaigns and the landing pages, it needs to be there. So it's all relative, right? If you're selling a small product, you may not necessarily have all these campaigns, and it's so much work that goes into it. So if you're just creating like simple ads, I can't get the simplest thing I could say is to keep it simple. Like have a clear message that talks to the user, a bright color, for example, that has contrast. Like these are the simplest things you can do to create a scroll stopping ad that anyone can do. And this software, Creator makes it really easy to do that. So
it's a mouthful.
You're in
Don't
good
worry
hands.
about it. Yeah, well,
I don't know what it is, but
creative. I know, it's crazy. we should do a video of people pronouncing creative. See how many of them get it right. That would be a good campaign for us.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if there aren't any more questions, a big thanks to you, Jacob, for this most instructive and insightful webinar. I haven't gotten the chance to write things down, but I will get the video recording of this. And I promise
Awesome.
to pay a closer look to it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And thank you so much for bringing all this information to us. Yes, have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to Jacob's newsletter. I promise it's amazing. And the bundle he was telling you about, it's really good. Like if you're a designer or you're a marketer, I think it's really good. It's a must-have. It's not nice to have. It's a must-have. And of course, yeah, don't forget to follow him on the socials and try Creator-P as well. Thank you so much, Jacob. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you guys are. That's it from us.
Thank you, Joanna. And thank you, everyone. All right. Bye.
Bye.